I'm astrologer and life coach Penny Dix. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and welcome especially to you if you are born under the sign of Libra, and that's whether your sun sign is in Libra or your rising sign, also known as the ascendant, or perhaps your moon sign. And this is the ultimate overview of everything you need to know about, the heads ups really, for how to navigate 2024. Shall we begin? Because what I've done is I've just picked out certain headlines, because if I went month by month, we'd be here all day. And I don't think we want that. So let's start at the beginning, because I'm coming straight in with January the 2nd. Because Mercury, our planet of communication, that has been retrograde since the 13th of December in Capricorn, in your 4th house, slowing things down over Christmas, bringing delays, people not responding to invitations or being late, not coming, not turning up, being sick. There's been all sorts of changes around your Christmas kind of arrangements. And Mercury finally goes direct on January the 2nd, just as the festivities end. Isn't it always the way? And that's in Sagittarius, which of course is your 3rd house of communication. So at least you'll know that your letters and your cards and your emails are arriving at the destination they are destined for. But the most important news for January is on the 21st. And on the 21st of January, apart from the sun being in Aquarius, it will also be conjunct my rather lovely big dwarf planet Pluto. Pluto, the planet of transformation. Pluto, the planet of personal empowerment. Pluto, the planet of beginnings and endings. And interestingly, this is at the same moment that Pluto moves into Aquarius, which is your 5th house. Now, this is a big deal. And your 5th house is what I call the house of fun. So with Pluto's move into Aquarius, we've got to understand that this is going to be life-changing for many people. With regard to Librans, it's to do with your more creative side of life. It's to do with your children. It's to do with having children, getting pregnant, that kind of thing. It's also to do with local friends and mixing with people that you have fun with. And also we have to remember that Pluto is about change. And I think you're going to find that your friend circle over the next 20 years, and I mean, this happens anyway in life, but it's interesting that it coincides with the astrology, that your friend circle is going to change. But we've also got to remember that Aquarius is a sign of higher consciousness, of higher frequencies. And I think you will find, Libra, that as much as you can be quite matter of fact, also there is a side to you that, well, you keep a little bit hidden that is highly spiritual. And I think this bit we're going to see a lot more of over the next few years. Now I'm going to talk about Mercury again, because Mercury, our planet of communication, of course has several retrogrades this year. It always does. So, you know, I'm giving you the heads up about these so you can kind of mark them in your calendar and at least be a little bit prepared. Well, it goes retrograde in Aries in your 7th house of significant relationships and that's on the 1st of April. Is this an April Fool? Is someone going to be not turning up to a date? Is someone late for a date? Mercury can be a little bit of a kind of a mischief maker. So it could just be that your nearest and dearest, if you have one, is just being a little bit kind of naughty around this energy. The other thing is that if you're single and looking, this can bring somebody back from the past. And remember, Mercury is about revisiting, renewing, relooking, redoing. So it's anything that you can put an RE in front of, Mercury is about. We have another very important event in April. And just to leap back a minute, because I didn't mention February and March, not because nothing of significance is happening, but because the other energies are far more important and I think far more significant. So that energy, the sort of February and March energy, I will come to month by month when I do my monthlies. But on the 8th of April, in Aries again, in your 7th house of significant relationships, we have a new moon total solar eclipse. This is big stuff, and I can't underestimate the power of this because, first of all, eclipses always bring change. This can be, say you've been with a live-in partner for many, many years. This could mean you finally decide, for not necessarily love reasons, but maybe for practical reasons, to get married because it works out better tax-wise. There are lots of reasons why people get married or have a kind of a commitment contract, a relationship contract. But this solar eclipse is important. It could bring somebody new into one's life if one was single and looking. Not necessarily straight away, because remember, the energy of eclipses can last for several months. So what you can say is, or what one can say, is that over this year, you may very well meet somebody who really rocks your boat. And that can't be bad, even if you're not single. So be aware of that. But still staying with April, you see, April is a massive month. And if you haven't listened to my ultimate overview for all the astrological energies you need to know for 2024, which is on my YouTube channel, you should check it out because it gives a broader, wider vision of everything we can expect, of all the energies that are going to be unfolding and how it may affect the players on the world stage. And one thing that, of course, is very important, the world economy. So on the 20th of April, in Taurus in your 8th house, we have a very important conjunction. So the 8th house for you is about joint finance. It's also about pensions, investments, anything of that kind of nature. It's also about beginnings and endings on a more kind of mundane level. But what is happening is you've had Uranus here, my big boy Uranus, the planet of the unexpected, of the unusual, of freedom, of rebellion, of restriction as well, of all sorts of upheavals. And Uranus has been really upsetting your kind of well-ordered way of doing things. And so you've really been aware of that. But Uranus is going to be conjunct a wonderful, big, massive, glorious, fortunate, lucky planet, Jupiter. So with Jupiter and Uranus conjunct in Taurus, in an earth sign, first of all, if we look at this on the world stage, this could be very interesting for what unfolds in the world economy, because it could either be very good or very bad, because remember, Jupiter is kind of neutral and expands either way. It could expand it for the better because, say, the markets like what's happening, or it contract it for the worst. Let's hope it's for the better. So coming back to your chart, Libra, I think this is going to see you making some big, major change, alteration, decision to maybe your pension, your investments, your will, anything that is of a kind of important nature that involves other people, another or others. So, one could say that April is a good time to start looking at those things if you need to. Now, by the 25th of May, Jupiter, our planet of luck and opportunity, leaves Taurus and enters Gemini in your 9th for a period of a year or so. So your 9th house is about travel. So we could find that you are very busy making plans from May onwards to travel the world, to be expansive in your travel, because Jupiter expands everything. So maybe what has been happening in the 8th house is positive financially. If by the time it's moved into Gemini in the 9th, you're being able to afford to do all this luxurious travel, let's hope it's that. At this point, I'm going to just plop in an advert of my own. And that advert is to say, if you would like to have a personal one-to-one natal chart reading with me, a session that looks at your natal chart, your transits, you can ask me anything you want about anything to do with your life, then why don't you go to my website, pennydix.com. I'm afraid I'm a bit of a dinosaur and I do things the old-fashioned way. I do not as yet have a booking system or a kind of method that I understand on how to pay online. So send me an email, penny@pennydix.com. We have a little chat. We choose a suitable time that suits both of us, because remember, I am in the middle of the Mediterranean, which is Central European time, which, to give you some kind of gauge, because a lot of you might be in the United States, that is 6 hours to the in front of New York and the East Coast. So then we would have, then I send a PayPal request. You don't need an account, don't worry. You just pay as a guest. And then we have the session on Skype, and that is all really easy. It gets recorded. Again, you don't need an account. It's recorded for you. You download it, you save it, and there you go. So end of advert, and back to your reading. So I paused there because the next bit I'm talking about is a rather challenging energy that we've all got to be mindful of. It may just come and go without too much fuss. But July 15th, and this means we've gone through June and the summer solstice, so a full moon, a new moon, and various other things. But Mars, our planet of energy, action, assertion, is conjunct Uranus. Uranus, our planet of the unexpected, freedom, shocks, rebellion, invention, in Taurus, in your 8th house. Well, I would say don't sign any important documents that day because it's your 8th house. So July 15th, bear that in mind, because Mars conjunct Uranus can see, it can see arguments, fights. It could literally, out there on the world stage, see street fighting, rebellion, people getting up in arms about something. Well, there is always something going on, isn't there, that everyone's getting hot under the collar about. So that is going on. Then let's leap ahead. We forget August. August, well, for us here in Malta and Gozo, it's hot. So we all close down and do nothing in August. But that doesn't mean that nothing's going on. And I will still be doing the videos and the full moons and the new moons and significant events. But astrologically, there's nothing kind of major that I wanted to alert you to in this reading. Because as I said, if I gave you every single heads up, we'd be here all night. So by September on the 2nd, Pluto, our planet of transformation, is back in Capricorn. And it's there in your 4th house. Remember, this is the part of your chart to do with your home, your family, your ancestry, and it's about the changes that you've been making around the home. Some of you will have moved house. Some of you will have pulled your place down and rebuilt it. But there will certainly have been some big changes over the last, 15 to 18 years to do with your residence. I know that's a wide timeline and many of us will move during that kind of time scale. But for Libra, it's been more kind of prominent. And with Pluto back in Capricorn, it's really as if it's saying, last chance to tidy up. Anything that needs to be tweaked, changed, just readjusted, do it now. So at least it's done and you're settled. Then we move on to the 17th of September, where we have a lunar eclipse in my wonderful sign of Pisces, my oceans of emotions. This is in your 6th house. This is the house of service to others. Now, a lunar eclipse is a full moon. And the 6th house is, as I said, about service to others. It's also about your daily routine. So you might find that there is something that you change and let go of in your working life if you still work. Or in your routine, you might start to think you want to let go of something, you want to change something. And also because of the fluidity of Pisces, then it feels like it's intuitively feels right to let go at this moment. So that energy is around. Now, eclipses always come in pairs. So then, of course, we have a solar eclipse, which is a new moon, and that's in Libra, in your sign, in your 1st house, on the 2nd of October. So this is a new moon solar eclipse in your sign. Big changes for you coming up towards the end of 2024. Huge changes. Some of them you will be aware of already and you will be in part kind of working on them already. Some of them you will still be, well, they will maybe not have come to you yet by the time you actually listen or watch this particular video. But it will be quite a significant new moon. Remember, it is about new beginnings. But for new things to come in, we have to let something go. And everything always comes at a price. So then the next big news is on the 11th of October, when Pluto, our big dwarf planet, goes direct in Capricorn. So it's now finally moving out of Capricorn. This is your 4th house of home and family. If you haven't completed everything you need to do with your home and family, then do it now. Between now the 11th of October, and the 19th of November, because after that, Pluto will have retired, or rather moved forwards into your house of fun, Aquarius. And it's going to be here for 20 years. Let's get our heads around that. That's quite difficult, especially when I'm the age I am. I'm sort of thinking, will I be here in 20 years' time? I'm not so sure. I'll do my best, but quite daunting. So Pluto will move into your house of fun. It will radically change your social life. And I think you will meet people that are more on the same wavelength as you. And perhaps that's been something that's been lacking for you, Libra, and this will actually rectify that. So I think this is a positive shift in energy. And I think it's going to help you really develop your creative skills and come up with some innovative ideas about what you want to do or plan for the next few years, let alone few months. Then, back to good old Mercury. Mercury, our planet of communication, goes retrograde in your third house, Sagittarius, on the 26th of November. Now, remember, the third house is about communication. And it's interesting that at the time of videoing this, Mercury is about to go retrograde in Sagittarius in your third house. And it's like it takes the whole year for them to get round to doing the same thing again with their retrogrades, their forward motions. So here it is again, retrograde in Sagittarius, which of course is about truth. So truth in communication, 26th of November. And it won't go direct, again, in Sagittarius till the 15th of December. Now we have another retrograde. And remember, retrogrades are about revisiting, renewing, relooking, remembering, reviewing, rethinking, but readdressing. Anything, any word you can put re in front of is what that would reference. So, as I said, Mercury does go direct on the 15th, but before that, on the 6th, Mars, our planet of action, energy, assertion, aggression, sexuality, war, goes retrograde in Leo, in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, of your dreams. So there may be something that you've been kind of chomping at the bit to get your teeth into. And Pluto's moved into your 5th house, giving you the kind of full steam ahead. And then there goes Mars retrograde in your 11th house to say, whoa, slow down. Not yet. This is on the 6th of December, by the way. Now, just to sort out the end of 2024, Christmas and New Year will see Mercury still in shadow but direct, whereas this year we've got Mercury retrograde and still in shadow for the first 2 weeks of January 2024. But you will, next Christmas, New Year, have this Mars retrograde. When a planet is retrograde, see it as an opportunity that the cosmos is giving you for a course direction. It's time to slow down in one area of your life. So take it as a really positive sign, because Mars doesn't go direct in Cancer, which is your 10th house of career, your passion in life. If you're retired, it's what you love doing whilst you're retired, even if that's just knitting. I don't mean just knitting at all, because knitting is a wonderful therapeutic pastime. So Mars doesn't go direct in Cancer until the 24th of February 2025. So you will have, and then of course it will stay in shadow for quite a while. So remember, these retrogrades are opportunities to slow down, to take things easy. So on that note, I think all in all, 2024 is going to be, it's a bit like, if you've listened to my overview, I opened the overview for 2024 by talking about Cape Horn, where you have the Atlantic and the Pacific meeting and kind of pushing against each other, and there's no land on either side. So these energies are meeting and mixing. And there's something about that for you, Libra, that I think you will really notice this year, that there could be forces that are coming against you. And sometimes it's about stepping back, Libra, going with that flow. Because you're a cardinal sign, you're not always good at that, because it's my way or the highway. But Libra, take a step back and be guided by the cosmos. So please remember to like, comment and subscribe, especially if you've not seen my channel before. A big welcome, and I would love it if you would subscribe. And remember, I still have my How to Read Your Natal Chart for Beginners available to download for a small fee on my website. There's also the lovely Moonly calendar by the lovely Andrea Britton, who does all my beautiful thumbnails, and that is available to buy also, so you can have it laminated after you've downloaded it on the website, which is pennydix.com. And remember, if you want a session with me, I'd love to see you in 2024. So on that note, I wish you an absolutely blessed and successful and happy 2024. Thank you for coming. Bye for now.